One word, cases. It's a homonym, so it has many meanings. Which one are we referring to? Cases of a disease? No. A bookcase? Also no. A suitcase or a briefcase? Definitely not. Maybe it's падежи, the Russian grammar cases. Yes, that's what we're going to look at today. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome to Culture TV and to our online program, Let's Speak Russian. This is lesson 33. So, a word of warning. The topic that we're going to look at today is one of the hardest, if not the hardest topic in Russian grammar. Please don't let this scare you. If you take it nice and easy, which is what we're going to do, you'll understand it very well eventually. Just please stick with it. We're only going to look at the concept of case today. I'm going to introduce it to you nice and slowly. We'll take it at a nice, gradual, steady pace, okay? Because this is something quite foreign, quite different to us because we don't have it in English. But please, just be patient and you'll get there eventually. This is a very important part of the Russian language. And if you don't know how to use cases, then, you can say that you can't really speak Russian. So please pay attention to what we're going to look at today. It's very important. So cases is an area of grammar that looks at words in sentences. So we need to understand sentence structure first, and we're going to refer to the sentence structure that we have in English first, okay? So look at the sentence. Mary helps Jack. What's happening here? Mary, this girl, is doing something. She's aiding, she's helping out, basically, Jack, yes? That means that Mary is the subject, help is the verb, and Jack is the object. If you're not familiar with these terms, then subject is the person, the thing, whatever it is that is doing the action. Help is obviously the verb, the action itself, and Jack, in this case, the object, is what is receiving the action, what the action is being done to. So that kind of idea, okay? Now, what if the subject and object change places? We will get Jack helps Mary. Is this the same sentence? No, definitely not. The meaning has changed. Now it's Jack who's doing the action and Mary is the one who's receiving the help. Can you see that in English, by changing the structure of a sentence, we can completely transform the meaning that is being conveyed? Yes? Now, if we replace the proper nouns Mary and Jack with pronouns, we will get he helps her. He helps her. And notice it's not he helps she, it's he helps her, because Mary is the object. Her is an object pronoun, okay? So it means that now it's not Mary who's doing the help, but she's the one receiving the help. That is what her conveys. And if we were to now change places, her and we would get her helps he, and that makes no sense at all. That is wrong. Okay, and this is where the idea of cases comes in. Her technically is a case, isn't it? Because it's a different preposition to he. That is a very good analogy for cases, okay? More specifically, in English, the function of a word, okay, so whether it's the subject or an object, or we also have indirect objects and so on and other functions, we'll look at those later. But basically, the function of a word in a sentence is determined by its position in the sentence. Whether it's right at the start, whether it's in the middle, at the end, whatever. Well, you can see that generally in English we have quite a rigid subject-verb-object structure, whereby the person or thing doing the action comes at the start of the sentence, then we have the verb, and then the person or thing receiving the action comes at the end. That is generally what we see in the majority of sentences in English, okay? In Russian, however, we don't do that. The function of a word, so once again, whether it's the one doing the action, whether it's the one receiving the action or something else, there are other functions of words as well. It is determined by the ending of that word, so the letters with which a word finishes, okay? The exception to this is pronouns, as we've already seen with her. We have this in English, yes? Instead of she, it turns into her. Same in Russian. Pronouns change completely, usually. And all of this is known as the case in which that word is in. So if it was a subject and then it becomes an object in a different sentence, its ending will change, which means the case which is in also changes, because the case is what determines this function of the word in a sentence. Yes? Now, one key point is that verbs and adverbs are not affected by case. Case refers to something that can have a function in a sentence, such as a subject or an object, okay? Verbs and adverbs can't have that. So to summarize, really, it's nouns, adjectives, and pronouns. Those are the three main word classes that are affected by case. Verbs and adverbs are definitely not. So you can ignore them for now. Obviously, we still need to use them because they are somehow related to cases, but that will be later. For now, think of case being related to nouns, adjectives, and pronouns, okay? So let's take a closer look. So first of all, we have our subject pronouns. You should know these off by heart and you should be able to use them automatically. You should be tired of them, to be honest, because we use them all the time with verbs. Here they are. We call them the subject pronouns. Also, this is what we call the nominative case, okay? Nominative, just a grammatical term, and this means the case where the word, the function of the word that is in the nominative case is the subject. So whenever we have a subject of a sentence, it will always be in the nominative case. So if I want to say I am doing something, then I will be in the nominative case because I am the subject. Ja. Now take a look at this list of words. Hopefully you recognize it back from lesson 19 where we looked at the verbs to be and to have. And in order to say I have in Russian, we need to use the construction у меня and then у тебя, у него, and so on. Now you'll notice that here I've omitted the letter ne. We only actually use the letter ne when we have a preposition before that is a vowel, usually. So remember in that lesson we use the preposition u, and when we have a pronoun that begins with a vowel, we add on that letter ne. Not always. Sometimes it applies, sometimes it doesn't, but here is the list anyway. These are what we call the object pronouns. So when the function of a word in a sentence is the object, this is what we use, and we refer to this as the accusative case, okay? Just another grammatical term, accusative case. So basically, subject equals nominative case, object equals accusative case, okay? Remember this list, well, you should really know it already from that lesson, as I said, so nothing new here, really. So now let's try a few tasks. How would you say in Russian, I know you? Yes, it would be Я знаю тебя. Я знаю тебя. Why not ты? Tell me, why am I not saying ты here? Yes, because you are the object. I am the one who is knowing you. You are the one who's affected by the action of me knowing you. That's why you're the object of the sentence. Я знаю тебя. Object, okay? Now there's another way of saying this sentence. It would be тебя знаю я. Тебя знаю я. Why? Why does this still work? Well, because we still know from тебя that you are the object, and we still know from ya that I am the subject because of the endings, because of the way we've changed the pronouns. Even though we've changed the order of the sentence, that has no effect on the meaning in Russian because of this idea of cases. Cases tell us the function of the pronoun. We know that тебя is the object, and even if we put it in the start, in the middle, somewhere closer to the start, somewhere closer to the end, it does not matter. We know from the way that that pronoun has changed from ты to тебя that it is now the object, and therefore the meaning is still clear. All that's changed here maybe is slightly the intonation. The context maybe in which this sentence would be might be more appropriate for us to use this order. Otherwise, the meaning is exactly the same, and it definitely does not mean you know me. So you have to forget word order for now. You have to get that out of your head, and you have to focus on the way we change these pronouns, okay? Right, some more example sentences then. So we've seen already, я тебя знаю, I know you. You can start practicing asking questions. Ты меня знаешь? What does this mean? Yes, it means do you know me? So same idea we have in English. Do you know me? Not do you know I, but do you know me? That me signifies is that I am the person that is being known by someone else, i.e. I am the object of the sentence. You can answer with да, тебя я знаю, or да, я тебя знаю, or да, знаю я тебя. Word order, as mentioned already, does not matter. You're saying the same thing because of the way that you've changed the pronouns, because of the case in which the pronouns are in. Да, я тебя знаю. You can also answer with нет, я тебя не знаю. Remember how to negate sentences. If you've forgotten how to do that, please check lesson 15. A longer sentence. Он ее знает, а она его не знает. What does this mean? Yes, he knows her, but she doesn't know him. Great way to practice cases, okay? Things like this. Another sentence. Мы вас хорошо знаем. We know you, plural you, well. Remember the adverb well from last time? Well, here it goes. It comes in very handy here. Мы вас хорошо знаем. Now, the way to practice cases is like this. So we have our subject pronouns on one side here and our object pronouns on this side here. And we work in a crisscross pattern. You form sentences where я is the subject and тебя, or you, is the object. Then ты is the subject and меня is the object, and so on. You work down the list. You'll end up with они being the subject and some other they people, ich, the object. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, how you work through this list as long as you're practicing both the subject and object pronouns, okay? So therefore, your homework for today, please, and it is crucial that you do this because we need to have a very good foundation with cases. You need to do the same exercise as we've just done now, but with the following verbs. First of all, we have видеть, then любить, and lastly, записывать. Записывать we actually saw already. It was in lesson 24 on verb affixes. Check that out again if you've forgotten. The first two verbs I don't think we've seen before. You will need to see what they mean, and you'll also need to find out their conjugation because they are irregular. And in as many tenses as possible, please. So we already know how to use the two past tenses and the two future tenses, as well as the present tense. So try to range the combinations that you can make. This is what develops your language skills, the ability to make combinations. The more combinations that you can make, and be sure to practice these combinations out loud and maybe even in written form as well, and that will boost your level of Russian, I promise you, okay? So you can watch this video again and again, as many times as you need. I just really hope that you can grasp this idea of cases, why we need to change pronouns, so that we can signify that they have changed their function in a sentence, okay? Just keep thinking of the analogy in English with me instead of I, her instead of she, him instead of he. It's the same idea in Russian, okay? So thank you very much for your attention. Any questions at all, please ask in the comments. Likewise, with any feedback or desires or general queries, also put them down below. Once again, thank you for your attention. See you next time. Goodbye.